birthdays, whatever you want to hit on, man.
Yeah.
We gotta hear your account of your Omaha trip, man.
Yeah, it was super cool, and that was my first. I had been to Omaha, but not to the College World Series, so I hadn't been in the ballpark, anything. So going there, Saturday before the game, and it was just special, man. It's one of those bucket list things to cover, right? Uh, gotten very very fortunate to cover NCAA tournament games, cover SEC tournament games, some really good bowl games football wise, but that there's just something about the College World Series where it's like the Final Four of baseball, or it's the Final Four essentially of baseball, and it's one of
Mhm.
those marquee college sporting events that you want to be able to attend, and it lived up to it. It really did. It's a beautiful ballpark right in downtown there in Omaha. I mean, you could tell like this is that city. They need the college. Not, I don't want to say it that way, but like it's their Christmas, right? Like everything around the ballpark, all the bars are, so many of them are baseball themed. It's a baseball
Mhm.
junkie town. They love baseball in that city. You can just they're it's so they have so many different events going on. They had the fan fest. Everyone sees the Ferris wheel in the outfield, but there's batting cages out there. They set up all
Mm.
these things. They got a live stage. They have music all over the place. There's this tent city where there's 40 50 tents of merchandise, different sales, clothing stuff going on. You know, base Rawlings, uh,
Mm.
baseballism, all these different shopping brands or baseball equipment stuff. Just so cool what they have set out up there. All the bars were just jam packed. We had trouble getting into any of them. We went to one for lunch right outside right field there, but it's hard to get in anywhere. Just amazing how many people show up and show out for that thing. And Kentucky fans, I thought it was awesome. I mean, I talked to fans from all over that made the trip to come out there, and one family from Michigan mentioned they'd come to Lexington for the regional, the super, and then came to Omaha. So like to do
Oh,
that for Kentucky baseball, that's pretty cool.
mhm.
For basketball, you see that stuff all the time, but for Kentucky baseball, a program that, look, it's historically not, it's not what Arkansas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss is. Like it is just not. It's what Missouri is. I'm just putting it out there. Like they just don't have the history, and to see the buy-in that Big Blue Nation had for this team out there in Omaha was really really cool. But environment top notch, and then as far as the games, I mean, the first game, like I don't think it could have gone any better. I mean, look, yeah, would you want to blow someone out? Sure, but to have that magical game there, obviously the other two didn't go well, but that one where, you're kind of expected to win that game. NC State was a team that was more so, caught hot heat at the right time, right? Where Kentucky all year long was pretty consistent. NC State, their pitching numbers not great, whatever, but they battled Kentucky really hard, and Kentucky fell behind going in the bottom of the ninth, and first time the whole tournament they were trailing, and when Nicholson hits that home run to lead off the bottom of the ninth, they're like, oh my, like this team just refuses to lose, and the fight they have is special, and then obviously the way they win it, could have been, you mess up a hit and run, right? Where Daly, I forget, did he swing and miss? Did he not swing? It's been there's been a lot going on, obviously. So
Yeah.
it's been a whirlwind. But Devin Burks gets thrown in a second. And you're like, oh, well, one more pitch. We're going to the 11th. But man,
Mhm.
Daly gets into one, and just that's a moment that he'll never forget. This program, probably the biggest swing in Kentucky baseball history. So, super glad they got to have that moment. Obviously, A&M, and I'd love to talk about what happened there with the coaching situation before we wrap up. But
Yeah.
A&M, you just ran into a buzzsaw. Like they were the hottest team in the country outside of Tennessee. Ryan Prager, their ace, dominant. We saw he dominated Tennessee too. Like
Yeah.
just ran into a buzzsaw there, and then Florida, kind of the same thing. I really didn't want that Florida matchup is tough for Kentucky if they were going to face them on a day it wasn't Trey Poozer or Mason Moore. I mean, it just is what it is. Kentucky's pitching. We've all known it. Outside of those two guys, the starting rotation, there's not really a third guy ever since Dominic Nyman started to struggle. And Florida's offense is, for my money, probably the second best offense in Omaha outside of Tennessee's, just from the power standpoint from Castiglione. You just you throw him anything near the zone, it's a hit or a home run. It's just that guy is unbelievable. So they ran into a buzzsaw, and it ended in a obviously a very convincing loss. But I still think the accomplishment of being, I think they were in the final five. They were the fifth team left, they win a game in Omaha. They get to Omaha for the first time ever. There's a ton to build on, ton to be proud of, and now you've smelt it, now you've tasted it, and now the goal is to get back there. And there's going to be some expectations from the fan base, which is really cool to have. So I had a great time. We definitely made the most of the trip. It was a really cool 5-6 days out there, and I thought Kentucky represented, the fans represented the program great, represented the school great, the state great. The team, had a magical game. It didn't end the way they wanted, but it was pretty cool. There's a lot to build on.